There is a kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, not because you work too much, but because everything you do feels forced. You're still functioning. You show up to work. You reply to messages. You meet expectations. From the outside, nothing looks wrong. But inside, every action feels like you're pushing against something invisible. You wake up already tired, not physically, but directionally tired, as if your effort is going somewhere that no longer feels right. And when this happens, most of us respond in the same way. We push harder. We tighten our routines. We try to be more disciplined. We tell ourselves to stop overthinking and just get on with it, because that's what modern life teaches us. Effort is good. Resistance means you're growing. Stopping means you're falling behind. So when things feel heavy, we assume the problem is us. But strangely, the more we push, the heavier everything becomes. In the Dao De Jing, Laozi returns again and again to a way of acting he calls Wu Wei. In very simple terms, he says, the person who follows the Tao acts without forcing, and things still get done. This idea sounds almost paradoxical. How can you act without forcing and still accomplish anything? This question is exactly where most misunderstandings begin. Wu Wei is often translated as non-action, and this translation causes endless confusion, because Wu Wei does not mean doing nothing, avoiding responsibility, withdrawing from life. If that were the case, the Dao De Jing would not be a book about how to live in the world. Wu Wei means something much simpler and much more difficult, not acting against the natural direction of things. Laozi explains this idea through one image more than any other: water. Water is always moving. It travels vast distances. It shapes landscapes. It is not passive. But water does not force itself where it does not belong. When it meets a rock, it does not collide head-on. It slows down. It flows around. It changes form, not because it is weak, but because it is responsive. Wu Wei is action that does not come from tension. It is movement that does not require constant self-violence. We misunderstand Wu Wei because modern culture is built on force. We are trained to believe effort always equals virtue. Friction means progress. Discomfort means we should push through. In this mindset, resistance is seen as an enemy. If something feels hard, we assume it must be important. But Lao Tzu suggests something very different. He suggests that resistance is not always an obstacle. Sometimes, resistance is information. It may be telling you, this role no longer fits. This goal belongs to an earlier version of you. This effort is being driven by fear, not life. Wu Wei asks you to notice that signal before you exhaust yourself trying to override it. This is uncomfortable for modern people because it challenges a deeply held belief that if we stop pushing, everything will fall apart. Wu Wei doesn't usually show up in dramatic moments. It shows up in small, ordinary places. You stay in a job that looks good on paper, but every morning your body resists getting up. Nothing is wrong enough to quit, but nothing feels alive either. Or you keep saying yes to requests, not because you want to help, but because saying no feels risky. You don't feel exploited. You just feel quietly drained. Or you keep chasing a goal you once wanted badly, but now only pursue because stopping would raise questions. From the outside, everything looks fine. From the inside, there is constant friction. Wu Wei begins when you notice that friction, without immediately trying to fix it. At this point, a fear usually appears. If I stop pushing, will I become lazy? If I don't force myself, will I fall behind? Laozi is not saying effort is bad. He is saying blind effort is expensive. Effort that comes from alignment feels different from effort that comes from fear. One moves things forward with surprisingly little friction. The other drains you. Even when you appear to be succeeding, Wu Wei is not about doing less. It is about doing less in the wrong direction. Practicing Wu Wei today does not mean quitting your life. It means learning to ask a different question. Instead of, how can I push myself harder? Wu Wei asks, where am I forcing something that no longer wants to move? Sometimes the answer leads to small changes, releasing unnecessary control, setting quieter boundaries, letting go of proving yourself. Sometimes it leads to bigger shifts, but often the first change is simply this: you stop adding pressure. And when pressure is removed, something else often begins to move on its own. Not faster, but with less resistance. The Dao De Jing is not teaching techniques. It is pointing to a relationship between effort and life. When effort aligns with life, very little force is needed. When effort is misaligned, no amount of force is ever enough. Wu Wei is not a rule. It is not a method. It is a sensitivity to when you are working with something and when you are working against it. So Wu Wei is not something to master. It is something to notice. You don't need to change anything today. Just observe this quietly. Where in your life does effort feel heavy? And where does it feel natural? That difference is often where the Tao is already moving.